Good evening. Welcome to the 10th meeting of the year. Today is July 20th, 2026. Alyssa, can you please read the publication?
In compliance with Chapter 231 of Public Law 1975, notice of this meeting to be held at the Criminal Justice Building, 61 Main Street, South River, has been published in the Home News Tribune on January 7, 2026, posted on the Municipal Building Bulletin Board, the Borough website, and the front door of the Criminal Justice Building at 61 Main Street, South River.
Roll call.
Mayor Gindi?
Here.
Councilwoman Da Silva?
Here.
Councilman Donato?
Here.
Councilman DeZemian's not here. Councilman Giannakopoulos?
Here.
Councilman Gerchensky?
Here.
Council President DeSantis?
Here.
Please stand for a salute to the flag and a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. For presentations, we are going to skip the water. We're going to do the mayor's presentation first, because I know John has to leave early, and go into the water main. I was 5 years old, 1977. This individual started politics. He was elected to the county committee person, and thereafter he was an active member of the St. Mary's Astronomic. He was an active member of the St. Mary's Astronomic. Thank you. He served for decades. Also, he was also the planning board attorney for multiple years. Thereafter, in 1999, he was elected as a councilman. He served for 9 years. He served also as a council president, and he was on multiple liaison positions. He later returned in 2004 and served to 2008. Then after, he returned in 2009 as a councilman, and thereafter he was elected as mayor in 2011. While being a mayor from 2012 to 2023, he took South River, Superstorm Sandy, as well as COVID, and helped South River move forward. Not only did he do that, but while he was doing that, I mentored this individual. He showed me a lot of ways of South River and what South River was all about. Thereafter, he came back as a councilman in 2024. Today, we are honoring him with his own picture on the wall of mayors. Say a few words.
Politician and lawyer say a few words. Jeez. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is something I wanted to do and never had a chance to do it, doing it well. And if you ever have a chance, come here and take a look at the men and soon one woman's picture up here. And think about being mayor. Being mayor is not an easy job. It does not come with a book. So I can assure you, it takes a lot of work. And, you know, one of the things that we constantly are doing, and I know this mayor is doing it, is asking for feedback from you people. Please, if you have a problem, if you want to make comments, the mayor's door is always open. A good mayor's door is always open, and this man's door is open. So please, anything you have to say to make South River better, please speak up. Thank you.
Our next presentation is going to be Philippe giving us an update on our water project. Where is it?
Thank you. Felipe Contreras on behalf of CDM Smith. When I saw the agenda, I was kind of worried to be the opening act for the mayor's presentation, so I was quite relieved about this. So I forward the status of the project right now. We have a couple big steps in the near future. We're looking at end of July internal completion of the design drawings. Then we're going through a process of 2 weeks of internal QA/QC. Then we're going to be here. We're going to review it with Public Works and with anybody that is interested in looking at the plans and specifications. Once all those comments are incorporated into the document, we're going to submit to the trust, which is the next step. That's a big step. We need to submit plans, sign and seal of what is called a 90% set. That is going to go to 2 places, the trust and the New Jersey Office of State Comptroller for their review and approval. We're expecting that to happen in around 3 months. OSC, the Office of State Comptroller, is working faster these days, so we're hopeful that it's going to be shorter in the review. In the meantime, we're going to go for local permits. What that said is soil erosion and sediment control and county roads. And then we have to make a couple decisions in that time. Decisions such, are we going to do the county roads that have been already done? When are they going to fall in the schedule? How are we going to break the project? How we're going to fund the service line replacement if they have lead in the system. We talk about that in the process. Part of what we're doing right now is evaluating the cost of the service line replacement, which is not a cheap price tag. We're talking about 3,300 services that are going to be replaced during the project. The original concept was to go to the main, to the curb stop. If we decide to go to all the way to the water meter, we're talking about an average of $7,500 per service. If we take a conservative approach in the service line replacement, let's say that 50% of the lines need to be replaced and 50% are okay. We're talking about $12 million. We have options for that, as we have discussed in the past. We can pay to the trust for the loan and then bill the customers. We can pay all through the loan or an in-between. That's for you to decide once we have the final numbers. With that all said, we're looking to get final approval for authorization to advertise the project in December, bid in January, and to be concurrent with the cycle for the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank, we are going to be receiving bids late January, beginning of February, for the project to be awarded in spring, April. I submitted the summary of where we are in all the different tasks of the project. If anybody has any questions, I'm here to answer them. And that's all I have for now.
If I may, Mayor? Go ahead. So when you say you're submitting to the trust, is that the state agency that releases money for the project? That's the
New
trust.
Jersey Infrastructure Bank, yes.
That's the bank, right? Mm-hmm. And then when you said that your people could view them and then discuss this, where would that take place? Is that just something you're doing at DPW, or are you doing it down at
48 Washington.
48.
Yes.
And if somebody were interested in that, how would they? Is there a set date, or is that going to be posted anywhere?
Once we have the document, I'll coordinate with Mark, and we'll schedule it. We'll schedule it. I think it's going to be several rounds, different people,
Right.
Different opinions, different views. So we have. I'll make myself available to discuss those.
So I know there's certain neighborhoods that have
Priorities.
Priorities.
Yes. And then we all have to come to a consensus. What goes first?
Who's the priority? Correct.
And how we're going to break it. That is the part. That is the time when I'm going to tell you critical areas that might present a problem right now is Turnpike. All that section is going to be complicated because the neighboring is Brunswick. That is a big road, and the county is requesting full payment curb to curb if we touch it. So we might have to just do the intersections. Those are the things that we need to analyze carefully, and the implications of those in the project itself.
Gotcha. Thank you.
The percent, you say 90%, the plans will be ready? What, for
90%.
now that is for construction?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't clear on
Yeah,
that.
that is 90% of construction. They will have comments, and then it becomes, once we address the comments from them and from the borough, then that becomes a 100% document that we'll put out for bid.
Okay, yeah, because I'd like to see them myself. So that would be good. Okay.
Anything else, council? No? All right, thank you, Fleet. We have one first reading. John, can you give us a briefing on this?
Sure. The title of this ordinance is, it's 2618. It's an ordinance of the Borough of South River, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, authorizing a short-term lease of the public property located at 6 Thomas Street to 55 Main Street SR Urban Renewal LLC. So essentially, this ordinance provides the borough with formal authorization required by law to convey this property, as I said, 6 Thomas Street, on a short-term basis to the highest qualified bidder. This was a property that was bid out for leasehold. It's not for purchase, it's just for leasehold. And a required step in that process is the adoption of an ordinance authorizing the borough to lease out the property.
And with this lease, I'm assuming that they have to supply their own insurance as well as pay their own utilities.
Yes, that will all be required terms and conditions of the lease.
Alyssa, can you please read ordinance 2026-18?
Ordinance 2026-18, an ordinance of the Borough of South River, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, authorizing a short-term lease of the public property located at 6 Thomas Street, 255 Main, SR Urban Renewal LLC.
I move that council pass ordinance 2026-18 on its first reading by title only, and that the clerk be authorized to publish the same as required by law, with the second reading and public hearing to be held at a meeting at 7 p.m. on Monday, August 17th, 2026, by video conference via Zoom or in the council chambers of the Criminal Justice Building at 61 Main Street in South River, New Jersey.
Second.
Motion by Council President DeSantis, seconded by Councilman Krasinski. Sorry.
Councilwoman DeSilva?
Yes.
Councilman Donato?
Yes.
Councilman Janikopoulos?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Council President DeSantis?
Yes.
Now we're going to move on to reports. Justin?
Thank you, Mayor. Brief update on the capital projects taking place within the borough. For the 2023 local transportation program, Crossroad Paving completed their storm sewer test pits last week. Our office is reviewing that test pit data to try to avoid as many utility conflicts as possible. We expect them back on site in later this August. For the 2025 local aid program, Fernandez Construction mobilized to Tice Avenue on Thursday, July 16th to begin the sanitary sewer installation, and they expect to move to Prentice Avenue tomorrow to start storm sewer installation. The 2025 electrical substation maintenance work continues. The 2026 local aid program project design is nearing completion. However, the borough is adding the residential curb and sidewalk replacement program. Our office will be reaching out to all the residents who have entered the program. 2027 local aid program, our office submitted an application to the DOT for various roads and for a bike grant application. The George Street and Washington Street one-way study, the traffic data count is complete, and the first draft of the report is complete. I expect to have something submitted to the borough later this week. And last, the Veterans Drive parking lot wetland delineation, the environmental constraint mapping has been completed, and we're working on a concept plan to present to the borough. That's it. Thank you.
Council, any discussion?
I do have one question. So regarding the paving, obviously, we have them year by year, and then we have the water main project going simultaneously. I know it's not easy to coordinate, but is there any way to look into like the roads that are going to be paved at a certain time frame and prioritize the water mains on those roads if they are part of the initial phase, just to avoid double work and redundant inconveniences, et cetera?
Absolutely. That's something that we should look at during that 90% review.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Joe, CFO.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of resolutions on the agenda. We received more grants after the budget was adopted. We got a recycling tonnage grant for $23,411.76. A county office on aging grant, physical for $4,000, information assistance $3,000, socialization and recreation $5,000, and mental health $5,000. There's a Chapter 159 resolution to put that into the budget. We also have a resolution to approve the turf field at Veterans Field. That's funded also by a county grant for $1,020,000. And then you have a resolution to extend the grace period for third quarter taxes. Bills should probably go out the last week of July. I think Tuesday the 28th or Wednesday the 29th, we're anticipating sending them out. Residents have till August 21st to pay. If they don't pay by August 21st, it goes back to August 1st for interest. And then you also have a shared service agreement that we're entering into for tax collector services for the Borough of Milltown.
Question? H, DPW.
Yes, Mayor. On Saturday, we had the storm. The rains caused a manhole storm sewer to break up the intersection of Linden and Whitehead. The contractor started the work today. It's going to probably be a couple weeks till the whole project's completed. Okay? Thank you. That's all I have.
Discussion? Fire chief.
Right now, we had our brush truck put back in service. All the repairs have been completed. On that, right now our ladder is out of service. It's at Campbell Supply. We're having a hard time. Well, they're having a hard time finding parts for it due to its age. So right now it's out of service, and I'm not 100% sure when it'll be back in service. Waiting on an update. As of today, they're having a hard time. So hopefully, maybe in the middle of the week, I'll know more. But right now, we're just getting ready for the end of the summer fireworks. And we just a reminder: Sunday we have that full scale drill going on. So it'll be down the end of the causeway. There's going to be multiple agencies in town. So if everybody sees like tankers running around, fire trucks running around, they're not going to be flying around lights and sirens, but they're going to be shuttling water. So just don't panic. It's a drill. So it should be somewhere between 8:30 to about noontime on Sunday.
For ladder tower, I'm assuming we have backup mutual aid. Just
Right now we have District 2, East Brunswick District 2. In the event Adam was notified, we have in the report of possible smoke showing, any possible fire, anything like that, they're automatically, after they dispatch us, they're automatically go to East Brunswick and have dispatch the ladder.
Okay.
So right now we're that, and if I need to, I also have Cerevel on standby, talk to the chief there. So we have backup on backup.
All right, sounds good then.
All right.
Question? Anything for this? No? John?
Nothing to share in the public session. We will
Listen.
have an executive session tonight.
Wesson?
nothing.
Mark?
Oh,
Okay. Councilman Krasinski?
Thank you, Mayor. Of course, the Office on Aging is closed till the end of this week yet due to repairs on Reed Street. And all I can say is at the end of the month, please check the website and everything too for any scheduled events that are coming up. With that, that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman DeSilva?
Our Cultural Arts and Heritage Commission is planning on having South River Day on October 17th. They are still currently looking for vendors. So if you're interested, please reach out to Teresa Hutchinson at Cultural Arts. Email can be found on our borough website. Our food bank is still going on with their school supplies drive, which is underway until August 15th. They're looking for a lot of school supplies. If you're interested in donating, drop-off locations are at Corpus Christi Church, Holy Trinity Church, and the South River Food Bank. Bins are provided at these locations. All items donated will be distributed to South River families via the South River Food Bank. Any questions, you can give the food bank a call. That's all I have for
All right,
tonight.
thank you. Councilman Giannakopoulos?
So the EDC is planning their farmer's market down on the Overstreet parking lot. It's going to be every Sunday, running all September and October on Sundays, starting at, I think, 11 to 3. We're getting a lot of response. We already have about 15 vendors looking to get a food truck out there, so it's going to be something nice, after church on Sunday or wherever you go on Sunday. Bring the family downtown South River, Obert Street. We're going to have farmers market, things going on. It should be something fun and something to look forward to in the fall. Again, we have the Shade Tree Committee meetings going on. Messed up, don't have the date. But you can look it up. You can look it up on the Borough website. The Shade Tree Committee meets, I think it's the second Thursday of every month, but sometimes that switches. We meet down at 48 Washington at 6:30. If you're interested in shade trees, trees in the verge, if there's a tree that you need dealt with in front of your house that's in the verge, you get a hold of us and we could talk about it, plant a new one, take the one that's rotting away down, and I think that's all I got. Oh, and with the storms over the weekend, we had no trees down. We did not, our pump stations worked really good. We had no issues with the pump stations. We had no fire calls in town, but from what I understand, we helped other towns, 4 other towns. We had 4 of our own. Oh. I know we went to Saraville. Oh, then I got to put that on Pete. It's information from our OEM director, but okay. And that's all I got.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Donato?
Our latest meeting for the Environmental Commission had to be canceled because we didn't have enough people. But the next meeting will be on the 30th at 6:30 at 48 Washington Street. Everyone who would like to attend, please do so. And I'll see you then.
Thank you. Council President?
Yes, for our recreation programs, it's the last call for signups for the fall for baseball, softball, soccer, cheerleading, and Pop Warner football. They're all going to be starting over the next couple weeks, so if you're interested, please register so we can align. To register, you go to the Borough website and go to www.southernnj.org, click Departments, Parks and Recreation. You'll see a link to enroll, and if any issues online, call the office at 732-254-4412. And the next Recreation Advisory Board meeting will be Monday, September 21st, 6 p.m. at 55 Reed Street, and residents are welcome and encouraged to attend.
All right, thank you. We are now going to open it up to the public for consent resolutions. Get 5 minutes. Please state your name and your address.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councilor. I'm from 109 Water Street for high-end cannabis. I received this disturbing call today that we're not getting our license.
What's your name?
Mark James, I'm
Thank
sorry, Mr. Mayor. Due to somebody else trying to get a license, which we've been working very hard to try to make this nice building, nice town, to get everything put together. And that once again, we're kind of at a road stop with this one guy that keeps, obviously, we found out when we got our CO that we have a person that's trying to get our license. Now, I found out when I received my CO from Julie Moore that we've received that there's somebody else in there. This is the first I heard of it. I don't know if there's a way to vote on this tonight. And once we pass our resolution we're going to get a hold of them because they didn't have enough time to put it into it. We got to talk to attorneys and everything. Attorneys said that stopping it isn't really, what was it called, Diane? An injunction, that they didn't have enough time to do it. And, they're kind of holding us up. I started employees. I have a lot of money into this, and it's financially really starting to hit me. I don't know if there's some way we can rule on this to where we get a vote on this, and then as soon as I get the lawyers to handle this whole thing, we can turn around and walk it out later. I don't know how we can do this, but I'm asking you guys for your help. I don't know which way to go. I'm just trying to make this, as easy as we can. I'm not looking to point fingers at nobody. I'm just trying to get this handled whatever we can.
Mr. Jameson, on behalf of the borough and the council, we do appreciate your comments and you coming out tonight. Unfortunately, I need to advise the council not to make any comments on this due to the pending litigation. So that is unfortunately the status of the matter. Resolution 209 will not be acted on tonight.
But, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, I was just notified this 3 o'clock this afternoon, and I think this is unfair. I came in here, I did everything I personally think. I followed every rule for the cannabis law. We followed everything to the T. And we have one person coming in here and saying that he wants to change the whole cannabis CRC rules, and I'm stopped at a dead stop. And I understand what you guys are up against. I understand the lawsuit. I understand everything that's going on. I'm just hearing this today, that we were stopped. But if I would have known this 3 months ago, I would have got lawyers involved. And this isn't something cheap. I'm talking lawyers are asking me for $40,000, $60,000, $80,000 retainers. This isn't cheap. Who's going to pay me back? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, for this guy coming in here doing this, I mean, from what I'm understanding with him, the little background check we got, he's using grants. He doesn't have money. He's got credit card fraud. He's got all kinds of stuff. Not credit card fraud. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. Wrong. He's got overdue that they're coming after him. You know, it's not right. I put a lot of money into this town. I bought $275,000 back taxes. I made that building beautiful down there. I did everything I was supposed to do. I followed every rule. And once I get to the finish line, you told me no. I have employees that started. I got $12,000 a week employees. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
I understand. All I can say is thank you for your comments, and we really can't speak on it further due to litigation. Okay. Thank you.
I understand.
Sabrina Pontorero. What do you need? My address?
109.
Yeah, 109 Water Street, South River, New Jersey. I'm the president and the COO of New Jersey Cannabis Consultant Group. I've helped open 11 dispensaries in New Jersey and started in the industry when it was medical only. I can certainly appreciate the fact that you guys are up against a legal dispute. However, letting litigation stall all of the work that this team has done, as well as the business development, it actively hurts South River. Not only does it hurt South River, but it hurts the reputation of the community. This is somebody that's trying to start a local business. We hired people from your town. They quit their jobs, gave 2-week notices, and started with us today. And now we're going to have to turn around and tell these employees that we don't have jobs for them until this is solved, right? So it's not just hurting the people that are standing behind me. It's hurting residents that are still going out of town to get product and putting tax dollars in other communities, right? Every single day that this dispensary doesn't open is less tax dollars that are going to this township, right? You had the former mayor up here talking about if you have something to say or something that can make South River better, do it now, right? This is something that can make South River better, right? You guys are talking about doing this water development program. You're talking about all these funds that are moving through. To allow somebody else to hold up all of this work and all of this business, it's going to lead to a bigger problem down the road, right? My understanding is this lawsuit is him saying that, and I understand you can't comment on it at all. My understanding is the lawsuit is him saying that this is getting in the business of him operating a business. It is now getting in the way of us operating this business, right? And that's going to be a huge problem if we have this beautiful built out building that we did pay taxes on that's just sitting in your community ready to go. Every single day since we've put the sign on this building, we've had residents of South River come to our parking lot and say, "Are you open yet?" They are ready to spend money in this community. They don't want to go outside of this community to New Brunswick and North Brunswick and any of that. It is now time for this council to stand up and do what is right for small business owners. It's time for you guys to stand up and do what is right for somebody that has poured time into this community in a business that each one of you know very, very well can contribute to this community, right? Outside of the tax revenue, they're committing to pledge community dollars. They're committing to participate in everything that you talked about, Councilwoman, right? This is a team that wants to be part of the community. And every single day that you guys don't allow them to be a part of it, it's just hurting this community even more. So please reconsider. I understand that there's an open lawsuit, But at the end of the day, each one of you has the power to do what is right, right? To help us open. We are targeting August 1st for the opening date. So if you do give us the approval today, we can move very, very quickly, right? August 1st can be the opening. We can make a payment at the end of Q3. Things can get rolling very, very quickly. At the end of the day, you know, whatever is going on with this guy has nothing to do with us. He is challenging decisions that y'all have already made. It doesn't look good on his side. I totally understand that. But y'all made the decision for the right reasons. You knew it was good for the township. Each one of you voted, yes, this is good for the township. And now we're going to hold it up, right? So does it really matter doing what's best for the township, or does it matter doing what's best for people that are the loudest in the room? So please reconsider.
Anyone else in the public?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Jim Hutchison, 38 Virginia Street. I just have some comments and questions concerning Resolution 2026-204. Just reading the consent resolution in its title, it's appointing Mark Tinnigan as Borough Administrator and removing the interim designation. I have no problem with that at all. I just have some questions associated with some of the backing, backing documentation. And let me preface my comments with, I have absolutely no issues with Mark Tinnigan as the Borough Administrator, Mark Tinnigan as the Chief of Police, Mark Tinnigan as a man. I just am looking at some things here and questioning it. And at the same point in time, I have some questions as far as financing and so forth. Within the backing documentation, it talks about the term of this contract. And it's saying that it goes from August 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2031, almost 5.5 years. And I'm going to get all my questions in, and then if you don't mind responding from there, okay?
I want you to.
So just wondering why we're looking at a 5.5-year term when, you know, most contracts are probably like a 3-year term. I'm not sure, like your police contract is chief of police, that may be a 3-year. I'm not sure if it's 3 or what. It's a 4-year term. Okay. Thank you, sir. Then it talks about compensation. And I know when, I'll call you Chief, when Chief was hired as the interim part-time business administrator, there was a stipend amount that was included within that resolution that he was being paid. There's no mention here of what the salary is. So it just talks about proposed employment contract, the compensation, benefits, allowances, reimbursements. There's nothing here that talks about that. And I'm sure if it's a 5.5-year contract, there's certain levels where there's an increase over that period of time. There's nothing in here that talks about that. And then when you talk about the contract itself, you know, that's not here. And if every one of these individuals tonight is voting on that, I guess my question is, I would hope that you have looked at and been able to review the actual physical contract itself in writing prior to making a decision tonight. So that's some of my questions. Then I have one final comment afterwards, if you don't mind addressing some of those things. Thank you.
Yeah, so I believe your question was about the term?
Yes.
Okay, so the length of the contract, that's what, the chief and the borough agreed to. I also understand that that is a standard term that has been entered into in the past, if I'm not mistaken.
With the prior.
With the prior, so that length of time was carried over. In terms of compensation, my understanding is that there's no change in compensation immediately, but you're correct that in subsequent years, you know, when the budget is looked at, that compensation will be addressed. But the chief will earn the same compensation he's currently earning as an interim and as the chief, as the permanent, for lack of a better term, BA and the chief. I'm sorry, what other questions did you have? I don't want to miss them.
Has everybody been provided the contract?
Everybody got the contract? Yes, no.
Then I guess my question is, how can you vote on something that you haven't seen the contract? Just that, again, that's my comment, okay? Just one final thing, and again, no disrespect, sir, no disrespect at all. When the original contract was established, and there was a stipend. And again, it was public knowledge that the stipend was for $40,000 annually. That is a separate stipend to the current contract of which Chief is getting as the police chief. Unless I'm wrong, and again, you can correct me on this, sir.
Mhm.
While acting as the police chief, you cannot act as the business administrator, and vice versa.
No, that's not correct. So you just have to make sure that there's not a conflict in the hierarchy or structure in terms of the chain of command. And the way that the borough has constructed its police department, the police department does not report up through the business administrator.
Right.
They report completely separate outside of the administration through the public safety committee
Right.
directly to the council.
Right.
So there's no oversight issue or conflict in terms of, you know, the chief being able to give his own department preferential treatment through his office of the BA.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying that while he's acting as the business administrator, that unless I'm wrong, he can't carry a gun, can't carry a badge, can't perform the duties of police officer when he's acting as the BA. That each individual responsibilities must remain separate. That's how I read it through the state statute.
You know what? I don't want to speak out of turn, so I will look deeper into that issue and be prepared next meeting to come back with an answer.
And I appreciate that, sir. Thank you. I'm just saying that if in fact I am correct, then, and again, I'm just going to throw this out, that there's a period of time that you're being paid, that the chief is being paid $40,000 in a stipend as the business administrator. And if I'm correct, he can't perform the duties of police chief at that same time, simultaneously. The two have to remain separate, if I'm correct. Okay?
So I'm going to answer your question.
Well, again,
Go ahead, keep
let me
going.
just continue, Mayor.
Go ahead.
I apologize.
Go ahead.
Again, I'm just looking at it that there's his contract then would say he's making X annual dollars as the police chief. Yet if there's time, $40,000 worth of time, whatever that is, that he cannot perform the function of police chief because he's the borough administrator, then that's a time period off of that contract. So it's almost like there's a period of time that there's additional money going in as police chief that he can't perform the duty. If I read the statute correct. Again, no disrespect at all. I'm just looking at it from a financial aspect. You know, we're always looking at pennies, dollars, nickels, etc. Looking at the CFO and making sure that where's all this money coming from and how the taxpayers are implicated and so forth. If we can please just look at that. And again, if that's the case, fine. But I'm a little concerned we haven't seen the contract. That's my biggest concern at this point.
So the $40,000 contract that he's currently in, we are privy to that.
I'm saying, okay, well, what is this contract? Because you're voting tonight. If you do vote on this resolution, you're voting on new terms.
Right.
It's not associated with what took place in February, March. I'm not sure what month it happened to be. But again,
now would that be,
I just go back in time when I sat up there, 10 plus years ago, and there was something was brought forward, and there was a question about can we go forward with a particular contract, and we didn't even have a draft, and there was a motion made to pass the contract, and I was like, you can't do that. We don't even have it. What is it? Has anybody even seen this contract? And it was like didn't even exist. So just throwing it out there. That's all. That's again just my opinion. So I don't know if there's any other comments.
So I want to answer your question about the conflict of business administrator and BA. Right now, there's so many towns in the state of New Jersey that actually follow that pattern. Middlesex Borough, Seagirt, Elmwood Park, Sparta Township, Hawthorne, Raritan Township, South Brunswick. That chief was 30 years. He was a 30-year police officer, and he was 14 years as a police chief. And while doing so, he was a business administrator at the same time. Now, that is a format that a lot of townships are doing. So I understand where you're coming with the actual contract part of it. My intention is to change the word interim to the regular BA. And then if I have to go revisit the actual contract and have it brought to the council at the proper way, I'll do so. Now, I understand where the questions are coming up because, well, wait a minute, we have authority that's finally standing there and actually moving forward with the town, helping the town, finally evolve the proper way. So I understand your concern. I could promise you that everyone will see this contract when the contract is ready to be voted upon.
Perfect. Again, just, I'm looking at specifics within this, has nothing to do with the individual or anything associated with that. This is just our previous part-time BA. You're saying that was a 5-year contract?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the last business administrator, Andrew Salerno,
Red Car.
5 years.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else from the public? First call, second call.
Motion to close public?
Second.
Motion by Council President DeSantis, seconded by Councilman Giannakopoulos.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye. We are going to go to consent resolutions. I believe 204 was to be pulled, to be
No.
read separately.
209.
209.
I'm sorry, 209.
209 is pulled, right?
And I respectfully request the 204 be
Oh.
discussed a little bit.
All right, 204 as well.
So 204 and 209?
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas Resolution 2026-01 authorizes the Borough Council to utilize a consent agenda to adopt various resolutions of a routine and non-controversial nature at one time. Now therefore be it is hereby resolved that below listed resolutions are hereby adopted by the Borough Council in whole, as if the same were individually acted upon. Consent Resolutions 2026-198 to 2026-213 excluding 2026-204 and 209. 198, insertion of any special item of revenue in the budget. 199, authorizing turnover of tax sale certificates. 200, authorizing the award of contract to Athletic Fields of America for the Veterans Park revision. 201, extended grace period for the third quarter property taxes. 202, grant application with the NJDOT for improvements to John Street, Hollander Street, and Nelson Street. 203, grant application with the NJDOT for the Grukowski Park to Passett's Recreation Area Bike Path. 205, authorizing the execution of a shared service agreement with the Borough of Milltown. 206, granting renewal to an ABC license for the 26-27 license year. 207, authorize certain utility refunds. 208, awarding a contract to Sockler Realty Services Group Incorporated for appraisal services. 210, awarding a short-term lease located at 6 Thomas Street to 55 Main SR Urban Renewal LLC. 211, accept June 29th, 2026 regular meeting minutes. 212, authorize the bills and claims list. 213, authorizing a place-to-place expansion of premise transfer to Gold Star Bar.
We have a motion.
Motion to move.
Motion by Council President DeSantis, second by Councilwoman De Silva.
Councilman De Silva?
Yes.
Councilman Donato?
Yes.
Councilman Giannakopoulos?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Council President DeSantis?
Yes.
What's a 204?
Resolution 2026-204, appointing Mark E. Tenitigan as Borough Administrator, removing the interim designation from said appointment, approving an employment contract, and authorizing execution thereof.
Motion to waive the full read?
Motion by Council President DeSantis,
Second.
second by Councilwoman De Silva.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Councilman.
Yes, seems confusion as to how this is actually going to work. Those are two very important positions. Is the person, is the police chief going to be acting as both simultaneously, or is this something that would be separate somehow or another? I know he's there until all hours of the night, so.
Well, it's separate in a way. I could tell you right now, business administrator position, he's dedicated more than what he's supposed to be putting towards the.
Oh,
business.
I'm witness to that.
Yeah.
I'm witness to that. Yeah, and I apologize. I should have had that resolution 2026-75. That was early on, and I missed that. So I'd be interested into seeing that. And I'm going to do some research and pull it to better understand it. The main concern is that we're not, what do they say, double dipping, as I was accused at one time for doing, and no qualifications, nothing to besmudge his reputation and his integrity, because I know it's there. It's just it'd be nice to clarify it a little bit so people understand a little bit better what's going on, and these questions don't come up, because this has come up, and I was hard pressed to explain it to someone.
I understand that.
So that being considered, I would suggest that maybe if it was possible to delay this until our next meeting.
I just have a question for Mr. DeLuca. Based off of the way this reads, the way I understand it, we're removing the interim tag and putting it as part-time. The contract that was already in place, the financials exist as they are. And then each year, just like we can with any employee, financials can be revisited and changed, et cetera. So the way this is provisoed as it stands, there's nothing that's written with anything set to change, pursuant to a contract. Like it can, but it's not necessarily written that it will. Or is there something that's in addition to this that would have an outline of a step up or some sort of a compensation?
No, the characterization that you first described is correct.
So it goes to the original agreement.
Goes to the original
We're
agreement.
removing the
with
interim tag
compensation
to go to
revisited.
to make it a part-time tag,
That is accurate.
which is basically procedural at that point.
Right.
And then the financial part is status quo until agreed upon at a future date. And at that point, it could be changed or not.
Yeah, the only real substantive change here is the title from interim to part-time.
Right, that's basically what I long-windedly was asking. Okay, thank you.
And then also, so I was at a water resource meeting for Middlesex County where I spoke to the Mayor Emeritus of Middlesex Borough. And this is prior to us having Chief take on the BA position, because I was aware that that's what they do in Middlesex. And I was informed by him that it's working out great for them. And it is possible if you do have somebody competent enough to do it. And luckily, we do have somebody competent enough, I think, that is actually doing it well. As far as I've heard from everyone, that he's doing a good job at it. So he is capable of it, if anyone's concern is that if he's capable of it. And in a way, you can view it as the borough is actually saving some money, because I think if you had a full-time BA at this point, you're not going to get away with the $40,000 stipend. So that's just another way of looking at it. And for Mr. Hutchinson's question, so the contract he's currently in, we are aware of. So when we're saying we're not sure that we haven't viewed the contract, it is the $40,000 contract. And at the end of the year, when it comes time, I guess at that point, there would be something new to discuss, if I'm according to...
Correct, and it'll be another resolution.
Right, so
At that time, it would be outlined like the last one with the dollars.
Yes.
Nick, not to step on you here, but Joe, if you could, from a benefits perspective, if we were to hire a full-time employee tomorrow, what is rough estimate on the borough's,
At least 200,000 with benefits and pension costs and everything
forget
else.
salary for the BA? I'm saying if we hired a new employee, just their benefit package
Yeah.
is about,
probably 100,000.
okay, so north of the
Then
stipend.
it depends
Okay, that's what I wanted.
coverage they take for health benefits. There's a lot of factors, but yeah, it
Understood,
could probably
okay.
be with salary about 200,000 or more.
Understood, okay, thank you.
So it's just the title that's changing. Everything else remains as is.
Status quo.
Okay.
And these are amendments that are in resolution 1 through 19. They apply to this particular case?
I'm sorry, 1 through 19? Are
1
you
through
talking about
9
the provisions of
part
the
of the
resolution?
resolution, yeah.
Yes. That's
Okay.
those are from the contract, correct.
Okay.
Joe, do you feel confident to vote? Yes. Okay.
Wait, just wait. He's not done.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jim. Are you all
welcome to
complete?
vote.
Oh, I'm
done.
sorry.
No,
I didn't mean
that's
to
it,
turn on
that's
you.
it. Yes.
All right. Do we have a motion?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion by Council President DeSantis, seconded by Councilwoman De Silva.
Councilwoman De Silva?
Yes.
Councilman Donato?
Yes.
Councilman Janikopoulos?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Council President DeSantis?
Yes.
What's that, 209?
So we won't be taking action on 209. We're just simply pulling it from the agenda. I don't want to misconstrue any lack of vote or disapproval of vote as a denial of the license, because that's not the council's intention at this time.
Councilman Donato, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, we're gonna go into public comments. No, 214 is closed session.
I'll have to do it now.
We're
No,
going
that's-
into closed
that's
session.
Right, we don't have to say it.
Yeah, we're not there afterwards. All right. We're gonna go into public comments. You get 5 minutes to speak. State your name and your address.
Jim Hutchison, 38 Virginia Street. Again, no issues with the qualifications with the chief BA. I understand he's doing a fabulous job, and that was not my intention at all. And I certainly understand the financial aspect of having a full-time BA, because I negotiated Mr. Carr's contract when I sat up here, so I know the monies that are associated with it, the benefits, etc. Just the benefits package is more than a stipend. Okay, so totally understand that. Absolutely. First and foremost, I want to thank the mayor and the council for, again, what we're doing with the previous mayors, recognizing them, putting their pictures up and so forth. I wasn't here at the last meeting. I want to congratulate former Mayor Zaghetti on getting his picture up here. And as far as former Mayor Krenzel, I was lucky enough to serve with him as not only a councilman, but for 3 years I was his council president. And I learned a lot from him, as everybody should have, and certainly, Mayor, you have. A very quiet man, very relaxed man, but an incredibly intelligent man. Very organized, has his way of dealing with things. But most importantly, again, I learned so much from him, from just how to deal with certain situations, and most importantly, what to look for, how to present questions, what to look for in agenda items and so forth, and to assist in creating the agenda as the council president. So again, congratulations for what you're doing for all these previous people who have sat in your spot. And I look forward to the day yours is up here too, Mayor. Okay. But that, again, it's a very, very great thing that you're doing with that, and I certainly appreciate that. Just one final comment again on this resolution. I know you talked about the only thing we're changing is the title, basically removing the interim title. Well, the other thing that's embedded here, it is a 5-year and 4-month contract. That the original one didn't have that. It was for the calendar year 2026. So there is a change as far as the terms. And I'm sure I would guess within the contract it also talks about financial situations in year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, whatever. So there is some differences.
So you'll see that towards the end of the year.
Okay, so again, thank you for all you do, sir, because you do a tremendous amount of work here, and we're lucky to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello again, Sabrina Ponterero, 109 Water Street. Just want to make a couple comments to what I saw. So today, to vote on the police chief's additional assignment, you guys named 10 towns as examples to where this works, right? I think that was something that was said over here. You said this works there. Guess what? This cannabis thing, it works in other towns too, right? They're buying new police vehicles. They're buying new ladders for the fire department, right? They're doing what they need to do to take care of this town. So I want to talk about those towns, right? I want to talk about Springfield and New Brunswick and all of these surrounding towns, right? I want to talk about the police chief of South Brunswick, who we spoke to, and we approached their town and did a PBA event with them also, right? We are missing the mark on what is good for this town, right? I think this public commentary is about coming up and talking about what's best for the town and what's best for the welfare of the people. And that is what's best for the welfare of the people, right? It's looking at what other towns are doing and where they're crushing and figuring out how we can do the same exact thing to take care of the problems that our residents have. So that's the first comment I want to make. The second comment, I appreciate what Mr. DeLuca is advising you guys to do. My understanding in a town like South River, where we operate as a borough, the mayor actually has the ability to make the decision over the town council. And in addition to that, the council people have the right to also make that decision as well. So I implore you again, it would really, really assist this town. It would help this business. It would help residents of this town that work for us to stay on track, right? And not fall behind. Because if we fall behind, we're going to have more unemployed people in this town. It's just the reality of it, guys. At the end of the day, we are asking you guys to go ahead and vote on it today, because that will help us when we take care of this lawsuit and we can open the doors, right? It's one less step where we don't have to come back and stand in front of you guys and do another vote and wait for another resolution. You've already approved cannabis to be in your town. You've already approved this location. You've already approved this operator to come into your town also. So it's time now for you guys to make the right decision. I really, really hope that we can do the right thing tonight, Mayor and council people. I understand the gravity of the situation, but I also understand that every single quarter that we're not open is another $250,000 that don't go to this township, right? It's another year that possibly taxes could go up, or, you know, more things have to be paid for out of funds that come from these taxpayers. So again, please, if there's anything that you guys can do today to help us out with a vote. We also submitted a letter from the Cannabis Regulatory Commission. It was notarized as well. That letter let you guys know we completed all of the requirements. We had a successful walkthrough with our Cannabis Regulatory Commission investigator. They came in, they saw the place, they tested our fire alarms, they tested our safety alarms, they tested our burglar alarms. You know, we have cops in our parking lot every single day checking out what we're doing. It is a very, very safe situation. It is extremely regulated. Your police chief can reach out to other police chiefs and see how smooth it goes for the town, right? There's, I think you guys voted on 2 ordinances today for liquor stores, right? It's crazy. Drunk driving is a real thing, right? You don't really hear about that happening when people are under the influence. They're hanging out at their houses and just relaxing. So I implore you, once again, please, Mayor, make the right decision. Do the right thing for high-end dispensary. Let's get this dispensary open, and let's get some of these funds back over to the township. Thank you.
Maybe anything else from the public? First call.
Good evening, gentlemen and councilwoman. Teresa Hutchinson, 38 Virginia Street, South River. First, just to, I know he's my husband, Jim Hutchinson, but he makes a lot of sense. He's a very analytical person. He's looking at dollars, and everything he said I've heard before, not just from him. So I support what he said. Okay, now let's move on to South River Day. October 17th, that's a Saturday, between 12 noon and 5 p.m. There's a lot of moving parts in that, and we are grateful for the help from the town, the South River Police Department, the Fire Department, OEM, DPW, actually the mayor and council. It's all hands on deck. All the committees are pitching in. So it's a big operation, and we need help, and we're grateful for the help that we receive. We are, as Councilwoman De Silva stated, we're looking for talent, singers, musicians, dancers. Any of you are welcome. If you have that talent, we would love to see you on stage. Yes, we would. We are also, again, looking for musicians. So if you know of any, as the councilwoman stated, we could be reached at culturalarts@southrivernj.org. We need everyone to come together to this day. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a petting zoo. We're going to have the bounce house as we had last year. The fire department gave us Smokey the Bear. We are hoping we have Smokey the Bear again. So again, locked in. Did you hear that? Smokey the Bear will be in town. If I could harm the mic, I would drop it, but I won't do that. So please, again, we would like talent and helpers with this final part. We're going to need a stage. We never did that before. It's going to cost a lot of money. I looked to our friends to my left and my right, our businesses, if they would like to help us. We'd really appreciate it. Any help would be appreciated. And again, please get ready because it's going to be a great day. Now, just quickly, flag raising. We have not heard from folks in town requesting flag raising ceremonies for their particular culture. We are ready for you. Please contact Cultural Arts, southrivernj.org. Let us know when you would like to have your flag raising, and we will do what it takes to get that to happen with the consent of the mayor and council and police department and DPW. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Anyone else from the public? First call.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi.
So I don't know if this is the place for this, but we have a rat and mice infestation. So I live at 135 Leonardine, and
Hold on. What's your name and address?
Casey Rampersad,
You said 135?
135.
Oh.
So there's a building, an apartment building behind our house, and every year we go through the same process. The mice seems to come from the garbage behind our house. So we approached the building property management, and my husband Shankar Rampersad here. We don't seem to get any kind of resolution. So now we're seeing the mice close up to the house, next to the pool. They're running in the neighbor's house next door.
Mark, you code enforcement.
And by the way, you're doing a great job as VA. No, we had some issues, so yeah. Also, this is the first time I'm meeting Teresa. As part of the Human Relation Commission, we also would like to see more of activity. I know you had mentioned there's no budget for our group to do any of this, any of the events this year, but we would like to do more. We were hoping to partner with you as part of the heritage, culture, heritage, arts, whatever that group is.
Arts?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, thank you.
You could talk to her later on.
Yeah, I don't know if that's possible because it's in October now, so, yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Anyone else from the council, public? First call, second call.
Motion to close public?
Motion by Council President DeSantis, seconded by
Second.
Councilwoman DeSilva.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye. Now we're gonna go into council comments. Councilman Donato.
I was speaking to the mayor earlier on this problems we've been having with the bikes, the e-bikes. I was on Route 18 just the other day, and lo and behold, there were 4 young people on Route 18 driving in the traffic, amongst the traffic. It's crazy. I don't know how the police are going to be able to manage this. It's just an accident waiting to happen. I know there's laws now that they're not supposed to be doing that, but the fact is they're doing it. Please, anybody who has a child that has e-bike, you did not buy the e-bike for them to keep them busy, to keep them out of your hair. You bought, and you will have the responsibility to make sure that they're operating that vehicle in a proper manner. If they have to be, it has to be registered. If it has to have a license plate. If they have to have headgear on and a license to operate the bike, it's your job as a parent to make sure that happens. Otherwise, I'd like to see them actually confiscated impounded and not given back. The parents want to spend another couple $1,000s to buy their kid another one. That's irresponsible parental demonstration of a irresponsible parent. And I'd like to see that taken care of. It's getting worse instead of better. And it's a horrible thing to think. You're on a bike, and believe me, my car and any truck is going to be a heck of a lot stronger than your physical body. You want to get crippled, you want to be pronounced dead at the scene. There's no coming back from any of that. Please. Summer's almost over, so to speak, but this is something that's been going on and it's getting worse. Down on Main Street, I've seen that. I've seen what goes on down on Main Street too. The police are not going to be able to be everywhere, and I don't know a police car yet that can get into a spot that these bikes can get into and get away from the officers. Let's get the stuff cleaned up, and it takes the adults of this community to make sure that happens. Other than that, I want to thank the police chief for all he's done. And I have, like I say, firsthand seen what the hours he puts in, and he makes me proud to be a civil servant because he personifies what we do, which is put the hours in to get the job done. And even though we may bellyache amongst each other, we're happy to do it. And the same thing goes for all the public workers here in town. I've seen their actions. I see what they do. They're fantastic. We don't realize how good they are because you're not trained maybe to see what they actually do. And the effort they put into it, I have. And I said this before, and I'll say it many, many times in the future. I am a civil servant. I work for the County of Middlesex. I know what people put in. Yeah, there are some slackers, but the majority of the employees go out of their way to help any way they can and put in whatever hours they need. And we're salaried. We get paid for 7.5 hours a day, regardless of how many hours we put in. And I can tell you, and that's not a brag, I put in 12, 14 hours a day many times. And I've been doing that since many years. So I thank them all for what they do for the public. Other than that, all I have to say, finally.
Councilman Giannakopoulos.
I just wanted to say the Main Street, a lot of people were complaining about the Main Street project going on with the redoing the road. But I'll tell you what, it's right in front of my house. There's been a couple of nights this past week where it was 4 a.m. in the morning and my house is shaking. But look at how beautiful it is. You know, there's a little bit of pain, but now we have a beautiful road to look at. We could thank Middlesex County for that. And they came out great. The other thing is there's some storms coming in tomorrow night and the next night. And I know our DPW will be out there keeping the catch basins clean. I know there's a few catch basins in town. I've heard that water's not draining. They're out there working on it. And just batten down the hatches because we got a couple of storms coming in. All right. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you. Councilwoman De Silva.
I want to start off by thanking DPW and the police officers this weekend during the storm. They were amazing. I put a call in and also called the mayor, and within less than a minute, I had somebody down by my business on Ferry and Jackson, even though I was drenched wet from directing traffic out there on my own. But they were amazing. The roads were flooded, but they did a great job. Now I want to go back to what Councilman Donato was talking about, which is my pet peeve on these e-bikes. I don't know if anybody knows, but there's actually 3 categories now that are out there, which will be effective July 19th. We have low-speed electric bikes, which the motor cuts off at 20 miles an hour. Then we have our motorized bikes, which they go up to 28 miles an hour. Then we have our electric motorized bicycles, which are e-motos or dirt bikes. Parents need to be aware. They need to go online. Insurance is mandatory. One thing I didn't kind of agree with is mandatory for all riders under 17 to wear a helmet, which I think everybody should be wearing a helmet that's riding these things. I live off of Cam Avenue, and there were two young gentlemen riding past my house, going extremely fast, and my house is on a hill. Any car coming up that hill would not have seen these two young kids in the middle of the road. In the middle of the road. Not even to the sides, which they could have been on the curb, in the middle of the road. When I asked them where their helmets were, and they told me in not so nice words, which I will not repeat now, and for me to hold my horses because it wasn't July 19th yet. So they know the law. And they know when they're allowed to push our buttons till. Parents, it is your responsibility. I've said it at the last couple of meetings. You brought them into the world. Take care of them. Don't cry when you have to bury them or visit them in ICU, because I'm a parent also of a 19 and 22-year-old. And they would not be alive by my hands if they were out there doing this and disrespecting another human being on the road. So I'm tired of saying it. I know it's going to happen. I foresee it happening. And we had it a couple of years ago with a young gentleman in our town dying on Whitehead Avenue. And I don't want to see it again. They are our future. It is your responsibility. You cannot be responsible for your kids. Should have thought about that before bringing them into the world. And I'm sorry if I sound mean at every meeting, but I've attended enough funerals of young kids, and I don't want it happening under our watch, my watch, because now I'm up here. So now I have a voice. And that's all I have to say. And I'm sorry for doing it again.
Real subtle. I like that, subtle. Councilman Kaczynski.
Thank you, Mayor. First off, I'd like to thank all of our public service workers, our DPW, our fire department, our police department, especially over the weekend with the heavy rains that we had. Aside from that, like Councilman Donato says, make sure they got the helmet. Trust me on that. I remember when they passed the helmet law in New Jersey. That was back in the 1950s. There was a severe accident on Reed Street. And I witnessed that, and it was just, trust me, I understand you follow the regulations, please, for your own safety and for the others, because the responsibility carries on to the person that might have hit you too. Okay. With that, I'd like to thank you, Mayor. Have a safe weekend. We're expecting more rain. Make sure your storm drains in front of your house aren't full of leaves. Let's give the guys a little bit of help. Pull the leaves away from them or any grass clippings or anything else too so the water can drain. Our DPW does have a heck of a job because they're chasing around all over the community. With that, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Council President.
Yes, I just want to make everyone aware of the end of summer fireworks, which are going to be on August 21st, which is a Friday night at the football field, Denny Stadium. And the rain date is the 22nd, the next day. And I know former Mayor Krenzel already left, but I want to congratulate him. That one I feel like is kind of looking at me, so I may ask you to move that one on another spot. But that one kind of gave me the eye. But I learned a lot from Mayor Krenzel. He may be a little quiet, but if you talk to him and ask him questions, he's a fountain of knowledge, especially about politics and South River specifically. So I just want to congratulate him on being honored. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. Social media. I love social media. I love those keyboard warriors. And the reason I'm saying that is that earlier this month, we had a problem with Comcast where several townships had no internet. Now, the reason for that was because the PSE&G was fixing telephone poles in Avenel. Whole different township. With that said, I have to thank our Department of Public Works electrical company because they are so on top of it that you're privileged to have your own team sitting in your own town. When it comes down to a devastation, you know that they're going to follow through. When it comes down to PSE&G or JCP&L and any of those companies, they take forever to get something done. And as you saw, Comcast took quite a while for it to come back on. Regardless of how many times I called or the BA called, or any of the council members did, it took forever. But we got it back up. Knock on wood, nothing happens. July 4th, Mayor's Patriotic House Decorating Contest. First place went to 7 Service Street. Second place went to 97 Darrell Street. People's Choice Award went to 7 Service Street. And then the VFW's Choice Award went to 13 Ridge Road. We had 17 applicants. Everyone was very, very patriotic with the 250th anniversary. I thank everyone that came out and participated. Main Street. I want to thank the commissioners in the county for what they did. Long overdue, but they heard our cry and they got it all done for us. Now, when it comes down to the word flash flood, that means that you're going to have a large amount of water in certain spots of the town and there's nowhere for it to go. As much as you call the PD, and for that matter, the Department of Public Works, we are at a standstill. When I tell you we're at a standstill, I can't tell you how many places I walked through the puddles to look at the drains and there was nowhere for the water to go. So you have to understand that when it comes out to flash flooding, just like how we had on the New Jersey Turnpike, East Brunswick Route 18, New Brunswick, it happens everywhere. So the best thing you could do is to stay indoors, check your sump pumps, make sure they're working, make sure there's nothing going into your house, and you will be fine through the storm. As of for being a better business friendly town, I know I hear your cry. We are going to be talking about this. We're going to find a way to resolve this. Please bear with us. I also want to wish our second assistant chief, Billy Smith, happy birthday. I know you don't like to be put on the spot, but happy birthday. With that said, we are. With that said, no, we're not going to sing. With that said, we are going to go into closed session. You are more than welcome to sit here if you like. We may act on it, we may not, so it's up to you. Alyssa, can you please read the consent resolution?
Whereas Section 8 of Chapter 231 Public Law 1975 permits the exclusion of the general public from a meeting of the governing body under certain circumstances. And whereas the mayor and council of the Borough of South River are of the opinion such circumstances presently exist, now therefore be it is hereby resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of South River in the county of Middlesex, state of New Jersey, that the public be excluded upon the hereinafter specific subject matter, and that such subject matter to be discussed is as follows: litigation. Be it further resolved that such record of the above discussion will be made public when confidentiality is no longer required. The Borough Council of the Borough of South River may or may not take formal action at the conclusion of the executive session.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Council President.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, I don't think that.
Aye.
We have to wait for the attorney?
I told Chris that I was gonna maybe go, but
Councilman Donato,
They still there?
let's go.
We still have
no,
constituents.
Sandra like
You know me.
backhand
School
somebody
teacher
over
and
here.
everything else.
Her
about
e-bike is
this.
charging, she's gotta
Let's-
get.
Time is time.
Yes, dear.
Have a seat.
Oh.
Do I have a motion to close?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That was-
Thank you.